Today we have Axis and Allies and zombies. Brains. Brains. It says, nations fall, the dead rise. Axis and Allies and zombies. Brains. Extra, extra, Second World War breaks. Extra, extra. An alternate history edition for 2 to 5 players. Brains. Fighting a world war is hard enough without a zombie curse. Brains. It is 1941 and the world is at war. The Axis war machine is crushing everything in its path while the Allies are rallying together to mount a heroic stand. And then zombies show up. Zombies. Brains. As the commander of one of the 5 major powers, you are charged with planning a strategy to win the war. But none of your military handbooks mention how to deal with zombies. Now each battle provides more fresh corpses for the flesh-eating hordes. And the problem is getting out of control, out of hand. With your human enemies on one side and the ravenous undead on the other, it is time to ask yourself, do I invest in tanks or chainsaw tanks? Stand firm, Commander. It's tough choices like that that will determine victory or undeath. New zombie miniatures. Looks like they got 3 different kinds. You got a soldier, you got like a cowboy looking one, or a businessman looking one, because this can't be cowboy because this is 1940s, so it's like a 1940s civilian looking one, and then it's got like a girl looking one that's I guess she's like a medical crew, like the girls that used to help with the medical crew back in the day. Also includes an 86 card expansion deck for the Axis and Allies 1942 board game, sold separately. Contents: 1 game board, 1 battle board, 5 nation setup charts, 1 for each power, 70 nation control markers, 12 custom 6-sided dice, combat dice, 6 custom 6-sided zombie dice, 50 plastic unit stacking counters, 215 plastic miniatures including 30 all-new zombie figures, 60 cards, paper money, rule book including quick start rules, and introductory setup. Let's open it and see what it's got. Maybe it's a little clearer without the plastic on it. Brains. 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 Zombies. Well, here's the rule book, which is also in plastic. We'll look at that a little bit. Here are the Axis and Allies and Zombies cards. Here are the Axis and Allies 1942 cards. This is the cards for Axis and Allies and Zombies. This is the cards for Axis and Allies and Zombies 1942. Here's the board. Here's the money. We'll look at that in a little bit. Here's the counters. They have red, green, and gray. Here's yellow, orange, which I believe is Japan's forces. There's yellow, which I believe is There's green, which is America's forces. Here's red, which usually is Russia's forces. Here's black, which is Japan's forces. This is probably British's forces. And then we got these zombie figures. Zombies. We got, of course, zombie dice. And we got, of course, regular dice. So that's everything. We'll have to look at it. Let's look at the board first. And we'll look at the individual components. So here's the board. Of course, here's the unit costs area. This is the IPC tracker, I believe. See, Britain starts at 32, Germany 23, and Britain 22. USA, I meant 32. Japan 15, and Russia 14. We have Eastern Canada, Eastern United States, Brazil. Normally, some of these territories are impassable that are gray, but I don't think they are that, or they're neutral. We have Africa here. We have Alaska and Canada there, Western United States. There's Australia and Japan in the Pacific or Atlantic. There's the Atlantic, Pacific. And there's Britain, United Kingdom. There's Germany, Europe. There's the Middle Eastern areas, China, Japan, Russia, and Asian areas. So let's look at it, the whole entire thing, like so. Scan it, just one, slowly scan it so that y'all can see it. And if you've ever played Axis and Allies before, you know that these symbols right here are where your factory productions are. I'm not sure what this special symbol right here is, because some of these have special symbols on them. But that's the board. So it's basically, looks like you can play any version of Axis and Allies on this board. Well, now the board splits up into two pieces like that because it broke right here. So if you buy a copy, be careful with the board because it's probably going to break. Alright. That's just a minor setback with the board being broken. I repaired it with tape. And now I just have two boards, which, see, I repaired it with tape, which still fit together like so. And you still can play the game. So, not that big a deal. I would suggest maybe, since the board's going to break anyway, you just cut it to start with so it won't break on you, and maybe use some tape to, prevent it from, wearing out on the edges here. But other than that, should be fine. Here's the rules. It's a 30 something page, 32 page rule. So that's it. Then of course you got the attacker, defender board here, which some people use, other people don't. And in this case, casualties are transforming into zombies. And then we got a general combat sequence. So there's the attacker side, and there's the defender side. Then, of course, each force has their own cards, setup cards, and then each force has their own country conquest tokens. Let's check those out. So we have Germany, Japan, Russia, Britain, and United States. Interesting thing on the back of these, they each have a zombie token control. So if a nation has nobody in it but zombies, the zombies control it. So nations can conquer other nations' territories and gain that territory and increase their IPC. But if zombies get a hold and they're the only ones left, they control that IPC area, that amount of IPCs. We have Germany. It tells you that Germany set up. And on the back, it tells you the Germany's technology, which we have zebra suits, Z4 explosive, chainsaw tanks, air dots, dead napper convoys, and zombie mind control rays. Tells you unit stats and order of play and the turn sequence. Japan setup has the same stuff on the back of Japan. Soviet Union setup has the same on the back of Soviet Union. United States setup has the same on the back of the United States. So you use the front to set up where all your people will be to start with, and you use the back for in-game so you'll know which technologies you control that you've bought, and how much, what you can do with your different units, and order of what play you are, and the order of play, and what you do on your turn. So they're a reminder card. So that's that. Now we have monies, which, just checking, we have 1s, 5s, and 10 IBCs. They have nothing on the back of any of them. That's what the 10 looks like, the 5 looks like, and the 1, greens are 1s, reds are 5, and bluish, blackish are 10s. They each have like blood stains on them, and if you look at the different IPCs, they're not standard. They're not standard blood stains. I mean, well, some ones have one type of blood stain, while others have a different type of blood stain. So, for theme purpose, that was like not necessary to put the different blood stains on the different. I mean, they could have just did one blood stain and made all the $1 bills have the same, and $5 bills and $10 bills all have the same basic blood stain patterns, but they used like 3 or 4 different types. So for theme purposes, that was done real well. I would say it was not necessary, but if you like theme, if you think stuff should go with the themes, which the theme is zombies, of course, I would say they did a good job on theme with the money. Could have maybe spent some more of that thematic money on making the board not break like it did on me, but I don't know. Maybe they spent it on maybe they spend it on the components, the plastic parts, which we haven't got around to, so that's the monies. Now we have 6 basic zombie attack die. A, I think, means attack. Defeat. D means defend. Now I'm not sure. So if an attack happens, the zombie wins. Defense, the zombie loses. And blanks, nothing happens. I believe that's what happened. I believe that's the case. They have 2 A's and 1 D. Zombies must be hard to defeat. D might, if a zombie rolls a D, it might instantly kill him. If they roll A, I think it kills an enemy, and or maybe it's the other way around. Theme-wise, it's interesting that they gave the zombies their own unique dice. Now we have the red attack and black defense dice. They replaced 6 with a zombie head. If you get this zombie head, you automatically get turned into a zombie. I believe that's how that works. So every time you roll for attack or defense, you have a chance at getting infected by the zombie curse. Now theme, that's interesting too. Very good for the theme. Now I'm not sure what the green ones are for, but I could look at the rules later. Now normally these mean one person, 1 extra unit, and these mean 5 extra units. These might mean 10, or these might have some kind of, since there's only 4 of them, they might be where the zombie plague starts or something. I'm not sure what the idea of the green ones are. I'll have to look at the rules. Of course, this time you have 6 armies. You normally have 5 armies, unless it's Axis and Allies anniversary, I think. So we will look at the various different armies. First up, we got USA, which they have their standard infantry. They have their standard tanks. They have their standard artillery. They have their standard fighters and their standard bombers, their aircraft carrier, their submarine, their transporter, their destroyer, and that's it. Then we have black, which also has their infantry, artillery, submarine, bomber, fighters, tanks, submarine, U-boats, submarines, whatever, carriers, transports, aircraft carrier, etc. I like how in each faction has their own shaped troops. That's a nice little thing Axis and Allies does. They don't do that in some other war game. Then for some reason they don't have a whole lot of Russian troops. I guess these are Russian. Not sure why. I'm not sure if I'll have to look and see, but I think these are Russian. And here's the British troops. But as you can tell, each force has their own sculpted units for the most part. Some units look the same, others look different. First, here's Japan's forces. Which also look like they have a little less forces than anybody else for an unknown reason. So there's all the pieces. Now we'll look at the cards. Oh wait, I'm thinking standard Axis and Allies. That wasn't all the pieces. We have zombies now! And there's the zombie pieces, which is the main reason you're watching this video, is because you want to see the special zombie stuff, right? Bring zombies! So we have this guy. he's the special, he's like the civilian male 40s, 50s business casual looking guy. Then we've got, of course, the zombie trooper. With, well, not knowing how to use his gun, or do they? With his backpack, standard infantry. Then we got the zombie girl, lady, civilian / maybe nurse for the medic corps, you know, the Red Cross, whatever, or just a regular civilian lady who's walking around and got infected by zombies. So I like the fact that instead of just giving us one zombie skull, they gave us 3. That's really cool. That's nice on theme. Again, they are trying to do the theme, and I believe they're doing real well on the theme. And the pieces, honestly, they're standard miniatures. They're pretty good. I suppose if you want more zombies and for this game, you can always add the board game known as Zombies to this, because those zombies are about the same size as these zombies. So they'd work perfectly well, and you'd have a couple of more sculpts of zombies, which I've done a video on the game Zombies, so check it out. Matter of fact, I might stick the game Zombies box in this game because I know I'll have more space. Now we have 2 decks of cards. This is 42, so I believe this deck goes with the 1942 special expansion. Like, you add the zombies to this game into the game 1942. If you own the board game Axis and Allies 1942, you can add this deck to go with it to the zombies. And this is the deck you use for this game, Zombies. Now, I don't remember Axis and Allies using cards, so this thing's new, I suppose. I'm not sure how they work. I'll have to look at the rules. Okay, these are the zombie cards. Now, before each player begins their turn, they actually have to draw one of these zombie cards. Which is very interesting that they have to do. Now, an interesting thing is these are shuffled, basically, and every turn someone draws a zombie card. The zombie cards, well, anyway, this is the first one. It says Zombies Rise. Draw and play 2 additional zombie cards. After all cards have been played this turn, shuffle the discard pile into the deck. And it has a little flavor text here, like, no soldier ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb soldier die for his country twice. Now, the original one didn't say twice. It said once. The original quote. So these quotes have, these are interesting quotes. They're quotes from actual historical quotes, but with a zombie flavored twist. So that's good on the theme too. This one's Escalation. It also says draw and play 2 additional zombie cards. After all cards have been played this turn, shuffle this card pile into the deck. So I guess you could theoretically win this game if you got through all the zombie cards. Maybe. Not sure how that works. They've got us surrounded again, the poor zombies. Then here's another Escalation. It says the same thing, but it has a different quote, flavor text. Don't fire until you see the grays of their eyes. Instead of whites, the grays, because they're zombies. Here's another Escalation. It says the same thing, but it says What would your men rather be, tired or undead?
It says throw away stuff.
Yes, I'm busy. I'll throw it away when I'm done. Now, here's another escalation. It says old soldiers never die. This one is another escalation. It says to die for the Empire is to live forever. And then we have Desperate Times cards and Desperate Measure cards. The Desperate Times ones tells you where to put a zombie. Desperate Measures give you a special, are optional. You can play them, or you cannot play them. You can play a game where you don't do the Desperate Measures, or you can play a game where you do the Desperate Measures. In bed! I'm busy! Interrupting during the video. Here's another one. So zombies pop up in various different spots of the game. No matter what you do, you have no choice in the matter. Zombies are going to pop up. So no place is safe, because that's Alaska. I wonder if there's a card for every territory. Because this one is Colombia, Venezuela. This one is Alaska. This one is Brazil. And this one is the Philippine Islands. Wow. This one is Okinawa. This one is New Guinea. This one is Midway. This one is Hawaiian Islands. This one is East Indies. These cards upside down. This one is the Caroline Islands. This one is Borneo. This one is Australia. This one is, which is one territory in this game, not broke up in more than one, like any other one. This one's Western United States. This one's Western Canada. Mexico. Eastern United States. Eastern Canada. Central America. Western Europe. United Kingdom. Sweden. Now, if you add them to neutral territories like this one, it changes the neutral territory from being neutral. Because, of course, you have to go, and it changes neutral territory into an IC value of 1 in that case. So that's what was with the gray spots on the board. They're normally neutral until a zombie pops up. Okay, gotcha. This one's Spain. This one's Southern Europe. This one's Norway, Finland. This one's Germany. This one's Eastern Europe. This one's Yemen. This one's West Russia. This one's Urals. This one's Ukraine. This one's Turkey. This one's Switzerland. This one's Soviet Far East. This one's Southeast Asia. This one's Xinjiang. This one's Siberia. This one's Saudi Arabia. This one's Russia. This one's Mongolia. This one's Middle East. This one's Manchuria. This one's Korea. This one's Japan. This one's India. This one's coastal China. This one's Caucasus. This one's Archangel. This one's South Africa. This one's North Africa. This one's East Africa. This one's French West Africa. This one's French Equatorial Africa. This one's Belgian Congo, Kenya. And this one's Anglo-Egypt, Sudan. Now, what they've done is they've combined territories on this game, so there's less territories. Guess since they made less territories, that's why they made another deck for the 1942 Axis and Allies. Now, I'm going to talk about the different technologies that are new in this one. Now, you can't get technologies unless you happen to draw one of these desperate... So, you can't get these technologies at all if you have the desperate measures optional in the game. But if you do, there's 6 ones that have desperate measures have anti-zombie tech on there. Which means that it's possible that each faction will get a new one, and they're all random. Because they say you roll the die and you gain that tech. And only your forces gain that tech, basically. So I suppose there's a way to play this game where you don't get any tech. Now the different techs are the zebra suits, Z4 explosives, chainsaw tanks, air DOTs, dead napper convoys, and zombie mind control. So basically you just roll the die, 1 through 6, you get that tick. It's that simple. One are zebra suits, 2 are Z4 explosives, 3 are chainsaw tanks, 4 are air DOTs, 5 are dead napper convoys, and 6, or the zombie head, is zombie mind control ray. This is Axis and Allies and Zombies, the rulebook. Now my camera usually only records for up to 33 something minutes, so I was waiting till this thing reached 30